Welcome back everybody to Orange Track Outlaws. Today we're going to customize this Hot Wheels custom Otto for the 4 Horsemen challenge for this month. I believe this month's theme is flames, so I have a pretty cool flame paint job on the brain here for this car. I think it's going to turn out pretty cool if all goes well. So let's dive right into this thing, get this thing taken apart, stripped down, and get the paint in here. So, custom model from Hot Wheels. Pretty cool looking car, actually. It looks like a nice little sports car. It's kind of got those. It's got those real fancy gold wheels on there. Remind you of the FTE styles, but obviously they're not. But cool car anyway. Kind of like this paint job too. It's got some pearl purple with some racing stripes. Not too bad. Could use a little something, not sure what, maybe like a little wing or something in the back, or even maybe either a bigger hood scoop or a bigger motor or something in there. But I'm not going to do that on this one. I'm looking for a surface area for some flames, so we're not going to modify this body really at all this time. Maybe on another build try some of that stuff out, but for this what we're going to do is basically a paint job and wheel swap, and probably detail a little bit of the chassis too in the interior. We'll see how that looks like, but for the most part we're going for paint job here, hopefully, if all turns out. But anyway, we're gonna get this thing taken apart here. Got it all drilled out, and get that little ring off the post and get this thing popped out. Hopefully it should come apart nice and easy. So that's the plan. We'll get this thing, check out all these parts here. So chassis, pretty basic. We'll be able to detail that out a little bit. Front grille and the rear tail lights. Not really liking the color of the interior there. Might change that. And of course the body, we will definitely be stripping that down and put a new paint job on. So out of the sandblaster here, got all the paint stripped off, came out nice and easy. We're gonna hit this thing with the wire wheel, get it all cleaned up. Hopefully there's not a lot of issues going on with the body, hopefully. But what we're going to try to do is clean it up with some soap and water, like usual, and a little degreaser, make sure there's nothing left on there. And we're going to prime it up real good, just in case there is any issues with the body. That primer ought to fill it and cover it, and then we'll be ready for some paint. Also, before we go ahead and clean it all up, we'll take a file and knock down any issues or what have you with any of the windows or extra casting lines or something. We'll get that cleaned up before we put some soap on it. But take a look at her here. Looks pretty good. I think we'll check everything out, and after she's cleaned up, she's ready for some paint. And we're going to hit this with some flat black primer. That's going to be it's been my go-to here as of recently. Sprays in real nice, dries fast, it fills gaps really well, so I'm liking all that. So we're going to get this thing primed up and move right along to the next step here. So what I'm going to do for the first part of my flame job is I'm going to hit the whole car here with this color shift paint, and this is going to be the first part of the flames. So we're going to hit that up with this nice purple to blue iridescent looking paint here, and we're going to let it dry. And then we have some mask decals here we're going to put on here, and those are going to be our first part of our flame. So I'm going to take and prime the rest of this car with some sealer gray, get this thing all ready to go for basically our base coat we'll be putting on this next. So the idea of the base coat is going to be a we're going to do a gray. It's going to be a nice sparkle gray paint job. So we're going to put that on there, and then we're going to go in with another color of flames after we get that handled. So should be pretty cool. I'm really hoping we're going to have like a two-tone type flame paint job here. Should be pretty cool, I'm hoping. So once I get this thing all primed up, I'm probably going to take a couple coats to cover that color change paint up there, but it should be just fine. So after a couple coats, we'll kind of see how it looks, and then we'll be ready for our metallic gray sparkle base coat. So everything's looking good so far. So liking how it's going. I think we got a pretty good coverage coat. We're going to move into our base coat, which is going to be pearl silver, and we are going to add a little of the hot rod sparkle into that to really help that paint job pop. And we're going to put in a little 40-30 balancing clear. That helps for the flow, and some 40-12 reducer to make sure that paint sprays nice and even. So I'm going to lay this down on here. Really got to be careful with that hot rod sparkle. Them flakes, you know, they do want to kind of hinder the flow of the rest of the paint. So you got to thin it out pretty well to get those sparkles to really come through in that paint gun. But if you get it just right, it should flow nice and easy, and you'll be able to have good coverage and still get the effect. So you can kind of see the sparkles coming through then the light. Kind of hard to see with this with that pearl silver. So anyway, we got our base coat done, and now we're going to do a reverse the negative mask here, and we're going to put a different color shift on this certain flame. So to do the color shift, we have to lay down a black base coat. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do, and this is really only going to be for kind of the front half of the car there. So we're going to take some gloss black and paint ourselves a little base for this flame job that we're looking to do, and then this dries fairly fast. We'll be able to come in with another color change paint, another tester's paint can, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But this should look pretty cool. I'm really kind of liking how it's looking so far. So black's dry. We're going to go in with this. It's a green copper color shift. It kind of goes from it's kind of like green to goldish orangish type of look. It should pop pretty good off the other purple and bluish look that we had going. And since this is a small rattle can, it doesn't take much at all. You know, one quick coat, and here we are back to final assembly. And I'll show you the wheel swap I did, and a couple details with the front grille and the exhaust, the tail lights. I did go ahead and prime the interior to make it black, and here's a look at our body. I did clear coat this guy up with about 3 coats, and it looks pretty dang sick on there. You can see the different color flames with the predominant blue and purple one, and then with that green copper look over top of it. So I think it looks pretty cool. You can see that that pearl and that hot rod sparkle in the silver base coat too. So this thing turned out pretty dang sweet. Once we get this thing together here, pop the screws in, we'll get on the turntable and show you guys the finished product. And once we get on the turntable and put a little light on it, I think you'll agree it's going to look pretty cool. It's definitely looks a lot better in person, like most of them usually do, but I'll try to get some good light to reflect off there and get those colors to pop and change for you so you can get a good look at it. But pretty much got this bad boy snapped back together. It's got some pretty cool flames coming off the front there. I'm really liking how this thing turned out. It's sparkling like crazy. But quick step back here. This is what we started with. This is our Hot Wheels Custom Otto. Overall, as it is, pretty cool looking car. I do have a handful of these. I think I'm going to try. I got a couple ideas here. I'm going to try something a little different. I might try to put a motor in there, and like I said earlier, I think a wing might do it some justice here. But yeah, once we get to that on another one, I'll show you that. But for now, this is what we ended up with, guys. This is our Pearl Silver Custom Otto with the wheel swap, and we got the two-tone color shift flame job in the front. It's purple to blue with the larger flames, and then we got that green copper color shift in some similar flames going up the front and down the side. So I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments how you think this one turned out. I think it looks pretty killer to me. But thank you guys again for checking out another one of my customs. I believe this is my first 4 Horsemen challenge. Time permitting, obviously. I'm going to try to be joining up on a handful of more. I got a couple ideas on some future builds for these guys. Check out the other builds for the 4 Horsemen and all the other participants. I know there's going to be some cool stuff coming out here. You know, the flame jobs, those are always fun to see. You know, who comes up with what and the kind of styles and all that they do. So pretty excited to watch everybody else's video. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out all the other races. If you guys like races, I got a ton of Hot Wheels races. Check those out. Got some pretty cool restorations going also. So anyway, I'll stop yakking, and I will see you guys on the next build. Thanks again. See ya.